clean. That's what I try to do. I think about maybe the 5th or 6th round is where I hit him flush with a jab, and I felt a little sting in my hand, and it just kind of continued from there. It wasn't every punch that I hit him with, but periodically throughout the fight, each round I would feel something. And I actually came back after maybe the 5th or 6th round. My dad said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Well, tell me what's wrong." "Nothing." "All right." And then he continued to coach. But by the 10th round, I think it was pretty evident that you know, what was going on was, you know, I really hurt my hand, my left hand, my jab hand, my best hand, my favorite hand. And I really did. At that point, when I hurt my hand and I couldn't use it, I kind of felt I felt the feeling of, what am I gonna do? And my dad told me exactly what to do. I thank my dad for pushing me through the last 3 rounds. It was keeping me focused, keeping me in the right frame of mind, and pulling out the gut that Lou alluded to, that you saw in the ring tonight. So I'm very proud of my performance. Definitely had to take a look at my performance and make sure it was everything that I thought it was in the moment, and obviously right all the wrongs and try to keep cleaning it up. But right now we're looking at just doing our post-camp, which is recovery and a little bit of movement as well, and doing the best we can to get back going as soon as possible. Doctor said x-ray this. He says he thinks it may be fractured, and get a good look at it and rest as long as possible. So that's what we are prepared to do, but we are also prepared to fight Keith Thurman as soon as possible. I don't have that WBC silver title for no reason. They told me what I got after this. That's Keith Thurman, so we're gonna do our best to get that. Any questions for myself, or my dad? You got anything you want to add? Did I say it all? Come on up here.
Any questions for Greg here in front of you?
Yeah, he did say it all, but I will say this: throughout Shawn's career in sports, not just boxing, track and field, football, he's played all sports, basketball, and he's never had an injury. It was one of those situations that he's never dealt with before, and I saw a look on his face that I'd never seen before that told me that he didn't know how to deal with it. He didn't know how to deal with it because he's never had it. So if you play football from the time you're 8 years old, every season through high school, and you played it on a high level, USA Today Player of the Week and Post Vice Red Zone Player of the Year, you've never, been injured. If you've boxed all these years and never had any injuries during a competition, it's a shock. And it was a shock to him. And the only thing that I could think about at that time was to try to keep him focused and use what he had yet left, which was his conditioning, his physical tools, as far as his movement and things like that, and his right hand. I thought about switching him to southpaw, but we've never fought southpaw before. So I thought about it. You thought about it? Yeah. So we didn't do that.
You might see me. I'll switch a little bit now, go right back.
Yeah.
Switch just a little bit now, go back.
Yeah. But he made it through it. We were counting down not just the rounds, but we were counting down the punches that would land, and I was watching his face wince up. We were also counting down the minutes. I had one of my guys in the corner telling me when it was 2 minutes and 30 seconds, when it was 2 minutes, when it was 1.5 minutes, and we were just trying to use the strategy of landing the punches that we could land without injuring it even more. And he continued to try to throw it, but he made it through it. I'm very proud of him for making it through it. I don't know anybody else that could have made it through it in that situation. And the flip side of that, great fighter. We fought tonight, fought with all of his heart and tenacity and grit and everything that he had, and I give him props and respect. But the flip side of that is, if Shawn had succumbed to the injury, this kid would be the WBC champion without winning a round, pretty much without, without winning, majority of the rounds at all. He might have pulled out the last couple because we were really offensive and moving a lot. But you know, I thought that would have been a shame that Shawn had, you know, not trained just for this fight, but his whole entire life for these type of moments, and to lose it to an injury. So I'm glad and proud that you were able to push yourself.
Andy Emilio, ES News. Shawn, great heart, first and foremost, congrats. Great chin, obviously. Gotta ask, I spoke to Keith Thurman while he was here during the Charlo fights. He pretty much ruled out, you know, any comeback fight against a big name fighter. He said he fought 2 dogs in a row and needed to fight a puppy, verbatim. So how will the scheduling work out, and are you gonna have to do another, you know, fight like this before you fight Keith Thurman, get that rematch?
To answer that question, as simple as possible, I'm gonna let my dad take over. We're gonna do our best to make that fight happen. I understand he's coming off a long layoff, and he wants to make sure that he's fully prepared for someone like Shawn Porter. We'll do our best to respect that, and do our best to, you know, give him the time that he needs, but with the understanding that we want to fight you and, you know, making that fight happen. Other than that, I'm gonna do what I always do: get back to training, and whoever they tell me to fight, that's who I'm gonna fight. Even with Adrian Granados, not a lot of people knew Adrian Granados, but we came there and we both put on a fantastic performance. I just landed more cleaner, harder shots than him.
Shawn over here.
Well, as far as that's concerned, he already fought a title eliminator here in this building and beat Andre Berger. And he fought another title eliminator tonight. I don't know a lot of fighters that would do that, especially this day and age. They had done it back in the days, but not here in this day and age. He shouldn't have to do that again. He shouldn't have to go through anything like that again. What he put himself through tonight shows that not just, you know, the physical part of it, you know, but the mental part of it that it takes for him to push through something like that. He's deserving of, you know, the fight with Keith Thurman. So we will allow him to. We respect him as champion and respect the fact that he was out with an injury as well. We'll allow him to sort that out the best way him and his handlers deem necessary and fight who they feel that they should fight. You know, I understand his thought process, not wanting to come back and fight a top fighter at this point. Let him do that, and then when the dust clears, we'll be there waiting. We're just going to work on other things, like our right hand and both legs, and the mental sharpness will maintain that as well. So, but we'll be waiting when he's done. We won't fight anybody else until he's ready to fight.
Shawn over here. Right here. Congratulations, Kenny, you too. Shawn, one of the things you had said leading up to this fight was that you knew that Granados had a handful of losses, but all of them have been by split decision, majority decision. You talked about wanting to be the first guy to hang a real authoritative, clean cut, no doubt about it, loss on this guy. Can you talk about your sense of satisfaction in being the first one to do that against a guy that obviously is a good fighter, but not with you tonight?
You know what? I came in here prepared to knock him out. And I hit him with some pretty hard shots, some things that I thought I might see him, you know, come a little bit off of his feet off of, and that never happened, you know. So I'm not questioning my power, my abilities, or anything like that. I'm taking my hat off to him. My dad even screamed one of the earlier rounds. He said, "Go to the body. He knows how hard his head is." And I heard that, I understood that, and I definitely think I should have went to the body a lot more throughout the fight. But neither here nor there. It feels good to get another great win in front of an exciting crowd, and just, you know, I feel blessed to be able to do what I do as always.
And have done so with no questions. Like, he can't say it was a majority decision. He can't say
I heard him, you know, when I was getting out of the ring saying that he was robbed, and I've never been on that side of the fence. I've never beat someone and they said, you know, I got robbed by you. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me. I got some surprises tonight. You know, I got a little bit of an injury, and, you know, something I never heard before. But we're gonna keep it rocking and rolling. And I'm sure he will too, but we're going to keep it moving past him. I beat him decisively, unlike any other fighter out here, and I wish him the best.
Which hand was it? I missed that.
It was my left hand. Yeah. I'm not going to keep saying it though. Nah, I don't want nobody taking notes, you know.
I don't know if anybody picked up his strategy early. His strategy early in the fight was to get Shawn to come to the inside so that he could use his head. His strategy was to open up Shawn's previous cuts from the last fight. That was his strategy. And that's the reason why I constantly yelled at Shawn to stay outside. And early in the fight, he told Shawn, come to me. Because he knew if their heads were close and there was an incidental clash, that Shawn's eye might open up and that would give him a chance to win the fight. And that was his strategy. I'm able to, this is going into my 28th year, I'm able to be able to decipher exactly what somebody's doing at this point. Which was the exact same thing happened with Berto after the first round. And I seen redness over Shawn's eyes. I said, shit, he's going to use his head. Well, when two guys are 5'7" and they're both coming forward, and they have the same physical build, it's not hard for those heads to collide. And it's not very hard for, you know, a guy like him to just put his head here. So this is a part of boxing, I understand that, and this is something he's going to have to deal with, but he was able to fight on the outside and be successful doing so. Good job on that.
Good evening, Shawn. Nice to see you again. I'm Gareth Davis from the Telegraph and TalkSport in the UK. I just wanted to ask you, you know, we know you're an alpha male and you're very competitive as a man, and but you're a gentleman as a fighter. How much does it eat at you about wanting to get back in there with Thurman? Do you think about it every day? Do you wake up thinking about it? How do you feel?
I tell you what, it was eating at me that I couldn't finish this fight the way I wanted to. You know, when the bell rung, everyone, the corner, everyone in the crowd knew that I wanted to fight, but I couldn't smile because I wasn't able to finish the fight the way I wanted to. That really, really bugged me. Really bugged me. I've never had to, you know, like my dad said, fight through anything like that. You know, and so I was just so, you know, grimy about not being able to finish the fight the way I wanted to, and that's the competitive spirit in me, you know. Before we get to the back room, I'm already asking my dad, how do you think I did? And my dad looked at me, he said, Shawn. I said, I can't turn it off, you know. So that's the competitive spirit in me. Same thing goes with Keith Thurman. I use a lot of imagery, you know, so a lot of times I'm either on the track, you know, thinking about what I should have done or what I could do, what's going to happen next time, things like that. But it's not always just Keith Thurman. But right now it is a majority of what I do is geared around fighting Keith Thurman again and beating him.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm not, you know, to answer your question, I'm not stressing about it. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not completely, you know, heartbroken that I haven't been able to fight him yet.
Yeah, Shawn. Danny Garcia's also got a loss to Keith Thurman earlier this year, and you've been vocal about wanting to fight Danny Garcia. I don't know the extent of your hand injury and how long it might keep you out, but given
maybe
all
just to get him in the ring with me.
Oh.
Maybe this will. We, you know, those are really the two names that I've been wanting to get at for a long time. Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, big names. On both sides, big fights all the way around. It's great for our careers, and definitely another fight that I would love to have. You know, like my dad said, we're gonna wait for Keith Thurman to say what's going on, and but moving past Keith Thurman, I think the only other guy out there I would want to fight is Danny Garcia. Sorry to cut you off too.
No.
Yeah, I knew where you was going. So.
Right here. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Can you detail or explain your relationship with Errol Spence? Because it seems as though in media and your interviews you've been reluctant to talk about you fighting him. Are you and him close?
I'm not reluctant to talk about fighting Errol Spence. I just feel like right now with him being an IBF champion and, you know, me being, what, 3 years past that now, that, you know, to me he is not irrelevant, but he's just like on the other side right now. I'm going for the WBC title. This green title is something that I'm really passionate about, and that's why I continue to move forward past that. I'll tell you how close we are. I just got his number back in August. I hadn't had his number before August, and that was because he wanted to connect and play basketball when he came to Las Vegas. So I made that happen for him. But outside of that, I don't text him. He doesn't call me or anything like that. But you know, when we see each other, as always with every fighter, you respectful and cordial with one another. But it's not a relationship where we talk all the time or anything like that. My dad and I, we went over to England to support him, hoping he would bring that belt back here to the States, and he did that. I'm happy for him. But, you know, when it comes to me fighting Errol Spence, I think that's just a matter of time as opposed to, you know, me shying away from it.
Thank you.
Shawn, Chris Conner from Last Call. Congratulations on a great fight.
Thank you.
Worst case scenario, Garcia says no. Thurman doesn't want to fight until maybe after the Spence fight. What's plan B? I mean, what do you guys have in mind if they say, well, we'll fight you, but in 9 months, 10 months? Is there anybody else you have in mind besides those two? Would you go up to 154 for a big fight?
We fought in April, and we told them we wanted to fight again before the end of the year. And neither of those guys were ready or willing. And we found Adrian Granados. So, I mean, I guess maybe worst case scenario, we'll do our best to find another good fighter out there to go up against. But, you know, as always, my dad handles, you know, that side of everything.
There's really no reason to fight anybody else, contrary to what, I mean, 1 + 1 = 2. We just fought 2 title eliminators. We fight 2 title eliminators. As far as the IBF champion is concerned, Errol Spence, why would we be fighting all these title eliminators if we was trying to get to him? We're not even rated by the IBF. Okay, so there's absolutely no reason for us to go that way. Eventually, I fully expect Shawn to fight Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and the kid that's moving up, Terrence Bud Crawford. I fully expect that. But reality speaking, we just put everything on the line again for the WBC. So there's absolutely no reason to go anywhere else or to fight anyone else but him. Plus we got a little hand injury, we gotta let that heal. So while we're letting that heal, we continue to work, you know, but while we're letting that heal, and they're doing whatever they're doing, that smoke clears, we fought for the right to be there twice now. Okay, we fought for the right to be there twice. We didn't fight anybody in the IBF. We're not rated by the IBF. We don't have any intentions of going that direction. You know, we can fight, but you know, we've put the work in and we've earned the right. He has earned the right to fight Keith Thurman.
How are you, Shawn?
Good.
Happy belated birthday. How old did you turn the other day?
Just turned 30, man.
How does it feel?
Been doing this a long time.
It feels like you're a veteran now. You've been in some big fights.
Yeah.
How mature do you feel as a boxer now? Now you're 30 years old. You're not a young buck anymore. How does it make you feel that you've been in the ring with the best and are still looking for the best?
It feels great. You know, it feels great. I think I'm in a very blessed position right now. Okay. I think I'm, you know, doing my best to do all the right things, and then, you know, whether you guys like it or not, my dad is right next to me making sure I do all those right things, you know. Yeah, I mean, if y'all want to give him a hand clap, I would love that.
I just pat myself on the back because I don't need that. All I need to be is his dad. When this boxing thing is over, I'll still be his dad. Nobody's interviewing, nobody's taking pictures.
For a son to listen to you, that's precious.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, he's an amazing person. So he lived with me for 28 years of his life. And he just moved down the street. I could probably go rock at his house. That's how close he is. But he thanked me more times tonight than he's ever thanked me in his life, because he would have checked out of that fight because of his injury if it wasn't for me. And I'm quite sure there's not another coach that could have got him to continue with that. So it's just a testament to the closeness that we have.
I look at him like, what you want me to do? You know, and he told me, obviously, you know, what he want me to do, and I'm like, you sure? Like, I just, you know, I wasn't buying in, but, you know, the great part about it is when you're in such good health, such good conditioning, your mind is able to, you know, get that energy and that oxygen that it needs to think right. And when I was thinking wrong, he's not exaggerating. I came back to the corner. I don't know what my face looked like, but it probably was a face of, you know, where do we turn? Where do we go from here? And he said, Shawn, you got to make it through this fight. You got to do what you got to do. And, you know, he really just pulled me back in a matter of, you know, 20 to 30 seconds and back where I needed to be. in order to believe that I could, finish the fight, that I could be strong and, and all that good stuff. And like I said to y'all before, I'm not happy about the way I finished the fight at all. But my dad made sure that I did the best that I could to finish this fight. And we gotta
Shawn, thank you, Kenny. On behalf of everyone that works with these two people right here, and has the privilege of being involved when Shawn Porter fights, there aren't two better people in the business to work with. It's an honor and privilege to work with you guys.
Thank you guys. We'll see you soon.